You're such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com. I am terribly sorry to the client. I know he wanted Chad Elkins' CPA to answer this. So did I. Because I don't know what. And God bless you guys. Thank you very much for making Asshole Consulting. We came out with a bang this month, and I haven't been able to do anything else. So Chad is busy with tax season. Even I am a little bit busy with tax season as well. So I did some research to answer your question here. So I apologize. If you want, after tax season, I can have Chad answer this. But let's go ahead, and I will do my second best job. Well, I'll do my best job, but it'll be second best because I'm not Chad Elkins. At elkincpa.com. Hey, Aaron, it's a little early before my next planned video, but I got a quick question that needs answering. As you know, I'm trying to recover from my worthless business and MBA degree by working and doing coding boot camp part-time. It doesn't look like I'm really going to leave my current job until November. As for a CPA, I would need at least 5 more accounting classes. Yes, I know, Governor's Western University. Plus a year or 2 experience, which would be the real battle. But I noticed on the Bureau of Labor Statistics, accountants and auditors are put in the same category. Tell me more about financial internal auditors. I know they are paid a little less, and a CPA could do their jobs as well. But with all the regulation that is still here, I figured they at least share some of that demand. Also, if IA, I'm reading it. Also, if IA, in your experience, are auditors worthless? Are they almost as valuable to a company as a CPA accountants? If I wanted to, could I become one in under a year? I have a master's in international business. I know it's shit, but with it, I would only need 1 year experience to be an auditor. Which certification do I need? IIA. I think that's an auditor. I know my plan right now is to work my 9 to 5, pay my bills and debt, save while learning coding to potentially find a software job and build my startup to get the fuck you money. This is going to take 1 to 2 years to really get going. I'm just curious about other options, and I didn't hear much about auditors. Don't make the vid until tomorrow. Friday is payday. All right. You're all over the fucking place. You are approaching the world of accounting jobs in a wrong way. All right? So let's organize it a little bit, and then you can go from there. You do not need a CPA to work in accounting, be it an auditor, analyst, staff accountant, regular accountant. It's a certification, but I know many people who are accountants, who are controllers, and they don't have their CPA. So now that's becoming rarer and rarer because progressive credentialism, you have to have the letters in front of your name, because if you don't, how do we know you can do it, even though you have 20 years experience doing it? But you technically don't need a CPA to become any one of those accounting titles that I mentioned before. All right. Now, to sign off on taxes, you do, but that's a different thing. All right, so for the most part, you could become an auditor, an analyst, registered agent, all these other things. Registered agent? Is that the one at the IRS? So yes, you can become an auditor. But auditor is just one of many different titles. Now, if you get your CPA, that opens up a lot of doors, a lot more doors, specifically to auditing firms, like consulting, like the Big Four. Or is it the Big Three now? I keep forgetting. They keep getting busted for corruption. But you don't have to be like the Pete Marwicks or the PricewaterhouseCoopers Lybrand or any of those guys. There's regional ones. Thornton Grant, Wipfli, other regional ones. All right, but the larger point is if you get your CPA, not only would you be recruited or now you'd be qualified according to their requirements and job requirements. Like, okay, you need a CPA to work for Pete Marwick, but it's just going to command more money. So it's not that, oh, do auditors make more money, or do staff accountants make more money, or do financial analysts make more money? No, it's CPAs make more money. Although accountants can do some of these jobs. So the paradox, though, a lot of people, as many of you who are pursuing your CPA are facing, well, how do I get that year or 2 experience that is required to sit for the CPA exam? So you inevitably, everybody faces this, where do I get that 1 year experience? And you just get it wherever you freaking can, however you can. Now that brings up kind of the aspect of an internal versus external auditor, which you brought up before. Internal and external doesn't necessarily have much to do with auditing. It's whether you are working for an accounting firm, which is external, and they provide services to other clients. They provide accounting services to other clients, which include, like auditing, tax, consulting, stuff like that. Or you work for the company itself. So, for example, if Pepsi Corporation, they put together their financial statements and they need an external auditor to go through and audit their financial statements so they can give the stamp of approval to ship it off to the SEC and say, look, we didn't lie, as far as you know, about our financial situation. That's external. Internal, Pepsi hires a staff accountant to put together the budget or to do accounts receivables or to accounts payables or whatever it is that Pepsi, so you're the employee of the company Pepsi. But once again, the CPA is probably going to get you, well, not probably, it will get you more money. So let me go through it. Five more classes. BLS accountants. Tell me more about financial internal auditors. I know they're paid a little less. And here's what might be throwing you off. It's kind of wrong for the BLS to lump in accountants and auditors into the same, because there's a whole different slew of different. Auditors are not staff accountants, which are not bookkeepers, which are not tax accountants. So I think that's a little. I wish the BLS would divvy those up into their actual job duties and titles, because it would clear things up. But no, because they threw auditors in with accountants, you're going to have typically bookkeepers and staff accountants dragging down the average mean salary of auditors. Auditors should be their own separate thing because it is a special skill. Now, here's the deal. In the ideal world, I mean, it's up to you whether you want to become an auditor or not. But what the ideal thing would be is you go get your CPA, and then you go work for a CPA firm. Some people would say preferably the Big Four. They just ass rape you for free labor, almost. I mean, they pay you, but I gotta get to the Big Four, I gotta get to the Big Four, and that's careerism. That's where you just gotta sacrifice. They're gonna enslave you, and I've seen it. 100-hour work weeks, especially during tax season, and all you're doing there is getting experience. And so you could say, I work for the Big Four. But their two main jobs that they would have for you would be tax or audit. You go into tax or audit. So you do taxes for clients or you audit clients. It's up to you. I know, based on people I knew when we went to parties, the auditors drank the most on April 15th at night. Like when they closed shop, the auditors would be the ones drinking way more than the tax accountants. Those guys were... So I imagine they had the harder job based on that. Both jobs are going to be very hard. But the auditors, they were crazy. Tax accountants, good guy, a little bit more, maybe more straight-laced. They weren't drinking as much. Larger point being, it's a taxing job. It's a taxing job, especially during tax season. Pay is comparable. It's going to be shit in the Big Four. You could work for other regional CPA firms, but by the time you put in your 2 to 3 years or whatever they're for, then you got the Big Four experience. Well, and now you could go consult. Now you could go work internal. Pepsi's like, oh, hey. And because by that time you usually specialize in an industry, so let's use Pepsi again. You were either an auditor or tax, doesn't matter. You have experience in the food and beverage industry. And after 4 years of just poring over financial statements, you really get to know the ins and outs of that industry. Well, now that's a valuable skill to have. So Pepsi, Coke, whoever else is in food and beverage, they would say, hey, he's got 4 years Big Four experience in the food and beverage industry or the aerospace industry, da-da-da-da. And now these companies in their respective industries like to hire you because you know how their companies work, you know how their financial statements work. Hell, you probably did their financial statements. You probably know people at these places. And now you're senior director accountant, you're assistant controller, you're on the path to become the CFO. And that's how it's no coincidence that you see a lot of CEOs and CFOs, they come from the Big Four, they have industry experience, and that's normally the path that they take. and they lose all their hair. So that's kind of like the goal. That's the golden chalice of accounting. I'd rather put a bullet in my head and chase after redheads. But it's what you're talking is about the entry level kind of world, and auditors. There's audit and tax, but don't just think there's that. You could enter in at any other type of analyst, staff accountant, payables, receivables, whatever. Get your 1 year experience, 2 year experience, sit for the CPA. Then you can go and approach auditing and tax firms. But that's if you want to. And you're confusing the hell out of me. You got your MBA, you know it's worthless, and you want to go back to the business world, but now you're going to study to get IT certifications and programming. They're two different worlds. And I think programming and being a coder, going through boot camp would be easier than going and being a CPA. Being an accountant and CPA is very, very boring. It's very boring. I think programming and IT is a little bit more intellectually rewarding and interesting, and it's nowhere near as hard. And certainly, God Almighty, you wouldn't want to go. I'm very against working for the big four. When I was younger, I would have done anything because you're young and you have the energy. When you get older, I'm like, fuck you, how much? Shove it up your ass, Philip. I'm just picturing a guy named Philip with a nice tie suit and a full thing. Hi, would you like to work for Pete Marwick? Thinking about that name, Pete Marwick. PricewaterhouseCoopers and Lybrand. Like, it's just douche, sock off, faggot, and McGee. You know, no, I don't know. No, sounds like I'm not going to be paid enough. Does not sound fun at all. Not sound fun at all. No. So, all right. That's the world of accounting jobs. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of clarification and paths and what's out there for you. You can hit me up later with your other question. Although I am kind of curious why now you're thinking about the CPA when you already had a plan B, and that was to go become a programmer. But I don't know. Maybe girls dig programmers a little bit more. It's been a long time since I was in college. All right, we'll see you guys later. Toodles.